terms of decision making. The list I got provided with shows we're going to spend possibly up to 3.36 million on quick wins, and I'm concerned of how some of the rankings came out. I understand the information I've got is we're going to spend 225,000 on a Christmas tree that's ranked 10th in priority, but I know we've purchased it. I'm hoping it's not on a whole Christmas tree. Yet slippery tiles come before that. The other concern I had was $250,000 on city centre decorative lighting. I'd like to see what that looked like as a council. It's a lot of ratepayers' money. We're, $5 million overspent for the year already. And I don't know how well this is going to go down with the group tasked of how that improves the city, when some of the things that I would have thought a priority, like the slippery tiles, seem to be sitting way down the list.
Mr. Dixon, thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. So, the projects, the minor projects, or quick wins as you like to call them, were assessed by the project's steering group, City Town Steering Group, which had stakeholders as well as elected representatives on that group. And they were evaluated in a very robust manner, looking at the alignment with the City Town objectives, the strategic framework, and then value for money. So it was costed through there. I will point out that the City Town budget is actually well underspent at the moment. And we are looking at spending about $1 million on these minor projects, which will carry through into the next financial year as well. What you've got in front of you is estimates, and generally they have been on the high side. So take the Christmas tree, for instance, that the actual cost of that is $130,000. We've had to purchase a little bit shorter one than what was originally planned, but we've also got some competitive prices. We had just district plan regulations to deal with, so But so that's 130,000. The slippery tiles, we've just received a quote and are working through with the contractor at the moment. Again, that one has come in well below budget, and we'll be getting onto that. We've got some trial area to start with very shortly, and then we'll be doing the rest of the CBD, mainly Stafford Street.
Sorry, I just want to pick up on a point, and you said about accountability, because I'm conscious that it doesn't come through to full council, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 elected members on that group. But the feedback on these trials from those elected members and the wider, stakeholder group that are on that, business owners and others, has been really positive. And although I think I take your point, that group does have delegated authority, and I think probably the key thing with this one, because I actually think it works quite well, it's a good collaboration between council and business owners and other stakeholders. So I think the key probably thing for us as elected members is to attend if we're not, because there's some really valuable discussion, and we just need to make sure. And I think Selena, that we picked up that all elected members are now getting invites so they can come. Just make sure that they do have the opportunity, because I think overall, take your point about accountability and how that would normally work, but I think overall the process is good, and we're starting to get some movement. It's been frustrating, but we are almost there, and happy for any of those members to make comment. We'll go to the Chief Executive, but Councillor Jackson, if you wanted to make a comment, I'll pass to you shortly.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wondered, in terms of something like the Christmas tree, if Mr Dixon would like to explain a bit more with both the comparative cost with the previous Christmas tree and what we get for this one. I mean, it's probably a little bit more than what someone puts in their lounge, I think. It's important to understand.
Yeah, so this is a fairly upmarket Christmas tree. It is designed to last about 20 years. And in comparison to the Christmas star that used to go on top of the Wellingtonia tree, it was the purchase of that. It was $45,000, and it's a substantial cost to put it up and take it down every year, which involved a crane and everything else. So, these things do cost. I will point out that I'm sure 45 years ago there were plenty of people in the community complaining about how much the angels were going to cost. But they've certainly proved their worth, and they have lasted the distance. So, amazingly, very well done. So is still going after all these years. So, if you buy the quality, you get the life out of it. The other thing I just point out that all the purchases that we are doing still comply with our council's procurement policy and within people's delegation authorities. So we're not deviating from that process at all.
Where are we putting this $125,000 Christmas tree? And are we getting one for Geraldine and Temuka as well?
They don't have a budget for it. We're looking at siting it up on the piazza which will then tie it in nicely with the carnival. At the end of the day, it's going to be quite a feature to get people into town. We've got the new Sea Play playground going on down at Caroline Bay as well. And, the idea is to create connectivity, try and draw people out of Caroline Bay into the CBD and vice versa. So that's the location at the moment we're looking at.
Who's wearing the Santa suit, Mr. Dixon? Can you answer that?
Not me.
Councillor Booth. Sorry, I was going to go Councillor Jackson, sorry, apologies, and then I'll go Councillor Booth.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm no Christmas Grinch, so I'm looking forward to seeing a nice big Christmas tree down there. And I think that when you think about what Timaru district means to people at Christmas time, we have a lot of people coming from out of the district, and I think that putting it down on the piazza, hoping it's going to be windproof down there, but putting it down on the piazza as a gateway down to the bay with all the activity that's going on down there, I think it's going to be fantastic. Just like to thank Selena and the team as well. We've got an excellent program there that you've put together. We have had a few hiccups, I know, along the way, but I certainly think that moving forward, we've got a really good, clear program, and I'd like to congratulate you guys on that. So, doing a great job. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Jackson. Councillor Booth.
Probably just following on from Councillor Jackson. It's been a bit of a bumpy road, but it's good to see that we're actually getting a little bit of focus and actually getting something done. So, certainly looking forward to actually just actually doing something, and people will see this progress, and that'll hopefully stimulate things to move along further. So, and does the Christmas tree come with decorations, I wonder?
Alrighty, now Councillor Oliver, we know we don't want to be the Christmas Grinch for Geraldine, do we? So
No.
I'll pass to you.
Just a real quick question for Andrew. Are you going to fix the tiles in Geraldine as well at the same time? Will you fix the tiles in Geraldine at the same time?
And Temuka.
And our country cousin next door to me here?
We haven't programmed that at the moment, but if the trial proves to be very successful in Timaru, then we'll look at extending it out to those Geraldine and Temuka. Yeah.
That will be very appreciated.
Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you. So that I think is, so that's covered that one for now. Yep, brilliant. Sorry, Jackie has just informed me Waka Kotahi are coming to the 25th of July infrastructure meeting, just for your information. And now, sorry, next one was workshop on consultants and timing.
So, Nigel, can we just make sure Waka Kotahi are aware of all our issues before they arrive here?
Yeah.
So they can give us some sort of explanation?
Well, look, yeah, 100%. And I have had conversations with James, so he's well aware of where we sit on this. And also topical, obviously, will be, Perry or St Andrews, the improvements happening there as well. So, yeah. So your question was on when is the workshop for consultants. So we were hoping to have it prior, obviously, to the annual plan. So I'll pass to the Chief Executive. Thank you.
Yeah. Look, thank you, Your Worship, and Councillor Piddington and others. So look, we have started the work on that. What is the cost of consultants and professionals and so on. What we're trying to do is work out what is, or be able to elucidate what is consultants and professionals that we've needed because it brings expertise, say, around a bridge design or a building design, as opposed to those where we've brought them in because we don't have the capability or the resource in-house with our team. And so we want to make sure we define between that. Now, you did quite rightly, you asked, I think it was just before Easter, that question, it came up before or after, and we had fully anticipated that the finance team play quite a part in that, in providing that information, and we had fully anticipated that the annual report would be finished by the end of that month, and we would then have it. Unfortunately, we've got a finance team at the moment that's concluding the annual report, largely through the no delays of their own, and I think that will be evident in the opinion, the annual plan and commencing the long-term plan. Ordinarily, each of those pieces of work would be completed largely of their own before we started the others. That's in addition to making sure we do all our usual finance BAU, of which there's quite a bit, plus produce the management reports. It's not looking to seek for an excuse, it's looking to provide context. We are working on it. We could produce, I think, something pretty for next week, Your Worship, but it would be a first cut rather than a finished product, because we have done some work, but it is in an environment where we're asking people who have already been quite stretched in terms of their capacity delivering other work, which has held it up, and they are the people with the sliced data, or who can go and slice it for us. So we haven't delivered it. I freely acknowledge that. It was anticipated and expected. There is the explanation, and that's what we're aiming to do. But it is bigger than what was budgeted for, and we've sought to provide that into the management reports that we have provided.
And probably just the key one for me, and except timing's not perfect, but I think what we'll get out of it will still be the same whether it's now or in July. The issue we've also got is we've got a couple of elected members not being here, so I would like everyone to be here for that. Even if we have a conversation next week, I think we need to do something a lot fuller and in detail when everyone's available to be a part of that. Alrighty, so okay with that for now. Next item was just a Meadows Road update.
Oh, thank you, Your Worship. So look, yes, I think in fairness, what's going on Meadows Road, so if you were to drive by, you'd see that there's either fencing up and work has been done. So there is a contract now to clear those sites. There is a bit of work because in some of them there's a bit of asbestos, so that requires an asbestos removal plan. That is done. What we're now moving to do is to draft up sale and purchase documents where we will go and look to recover that through a competitively tendered price for those sections, and we're getting professional support to draft the documents. But we will look at essentially running the sale process through council using professional support. But the next step is for us to put those properties onto the market and see what interest there is in them. We're not proposing we will put them out largely as they are currently titled and allow for others to determine what they want to do. So, but I thought it would be helpful if we were to note that, and so that people are aware what is the next stage on those properties.
Brilliant, thank you. Any questions on that? No, all good. Okay, brilliant. I think that's minor nature done. We're going to move now to exclusion of the public. We've got minutes to confirm from the 9th of May, so I'm going to move us, Councillor Parker. Thank you. I'll put the motion to the floor. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Just wait a few moments and then we'll move, and then we've got the first workshop on the LTP to follow. I'm just slightly behind.